Hey there. This is another question and answer session where I'll be answering 5 questions that have been sent in to me by you guys. Sorry for not releasing one, last week or the week before, but my laptop wasn't available to me. And on top of that, I was filming for a documentary by the Lifecraft charity on their Time to Change campaign. As soon as the documentary is released, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I should have finally caught up with all the questions, I think, maybe in 2 weeks' time, if that's okay. But yeah, keep the questions coming in, and if you don't get the video response, you'll definitely get it in your inbox. The first question that has been sent in to me is one that I've been meaning to cover for some time, and have there been any long-term health implications of you suffering from anorexia? And to my knowledge, there aren't any. However, in the upcoming years, I may begin to realise that things aren't as nice as they appeared. And this is because I've learnt quite a lot about what anorexia can do to your body through studying my medical degree. So, for example, when you're starving yourself, your body begins to digest itself to get necessary nutrients for it to just, tick over, to survive. And one of the organs that are targeted is your heart. Now, as I've learnt, heart muscle doesn't grow back. So once those cells are gone, they're gone forever. And in the upcoming years, I may have a problem with my heart, but I'll deal with that problem if it happens at all. Other than that, from what I've been learning, quite a lot of the issues with anorexia can be reversed so long as you jump on trying to get into treatment as soon as possible. So for example, you may realise that your skeletal muscle begins to degenerate. However, the number of muscle fibers in a muscle doesn't change throughout your life. It's just the size of that muscle fiber. So it's wholly reversible if you're willing to put the time, the effort, and the sheer courage and determination in trying to get better. The next question that I've been sent in is quite an interesting one, and it's what was your favourite song when you were in recovery? Now it's interesting because I hadn't really thought about it in a long time. And to try and answer this question, I had to buy quite a lot of the albums that I was listening to around that time, just to try and get a feel for what I was listening to. And it brought back a lot of memories, most of which were good, and it actually made me happy. So yeah, thanks for the person who sent that question in. Now that I've listened to all of the albums, I was struggling to try and choose my favourite song. However, controversially, it was by My Chemical Romance on their 3 Cheers for the Sweet Revenge album. The whole album was great. However, the one that really does stick in my mind is I'm Not Okay, I Promise. It was a song that I could sit down to, listen to, and it would just make me happy, no matter what mood I was in. And My Chemical Romance got a massive bad press for the emo culture, but I never understood it. I just quite liked their music. I found it upbeat. I found it uplifting. But that was my favourite song. I know that quite a lot of people who are suffering from eating disorders listen to this kind of music, and I can understand why. The lyrics in these songs, they start off sometimes. They start off, this person's in a bad situation. The chorus comes along. The next verse, they're beginning to try and change their problem, and then in the last verse, things are looking for the better. So there's a sort of progression in these songs that mean a lot to the person who wrote the song, but can also mean a lot to you from your own situation. And you don't get a lot of this from songs by Miley Cyrus, for example, who just talking about a party in their house, which is, a bit stupid, really. The next question is it's not really a question, but it's someone who put, I'm not perfect, but, blah, 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 blah. And I know it may be difficult for you to, try and put forward how you're feeling at the moment, and you might have, quite a lot of bad self-esteem. But to say that you're not perfect is sort of a bit of a downer, really. Whenever I read it, it crushes my soul a little bit. And yes, I understand we're human, we can't be perfect, but it's our flaws that make us human. So, if you can just accept that and get over it, I think that that is a barrier that once you know, get over, you'll feel a lot better for, you know, just realizing it and becoming a better person because of it. I know this is completely out of the blue, but it's just something that I've noticed in quite a lot of people who send me questions. And, you know, my piece of advice here is, don't be so self-deprecating to yourself. You should love yourself. You know, you've only got one life. Try and live it to the fullest, and just be happy in your own skin. You know, this sort of happiness won't happen overnight, but if you know, talk to your friends, your family, you'll realise that there is a lot to live for. And if you go to therapy, you know, all of these things will help you realise that yes, you're not perfect, but you know, that's what makes you so great. The last couple of questions is from someone who is beginning to realise that I think their son is becoming anorexic, and they just want me to give them a few bits of advice. And the first is how to, you know, go about talking to their son. And yeah, trying to talk to someone with who is developing anorexia is a very tricky issue, because they can come across as quite aggressive if you try to, you know, show that there's a flaw in their character. Because, you know, I didn't know that I was beginning to develop anorexia until I was so far down the line that, you know, I was on the verge of death. And this is because, yes, you do realise that there is something wrong. You don't feel great when you're walking upstairs, but because you have been accustomed to this for so long, you're almost in a state of autopilot, and you're living life day by day to survive rather than to live. And it takes someone, you know, a third party, to tell you that, you know, what you're doing isn't normal, for you to realise that yes, this is completely abnormal and I might need help. My advice to you is, don't be confrontational about it. Don't go up to them and say, look, we need to get you into help, because like, trying to go about it in this manner can be quite bad, because things can move along too quickly and you say everything off your chest within a minute, and you know, this person will be thrown out so much information that they'll be left sort of, you know, well, what just happened there? So you have to be very slow and tell them, you know, that you think that they may be developing an eating disorder and that you're there for them. And, you know, they may immediately open up to you there and then. But if you, you know, just go about it very gently, very gingerly, and talk to them about how it's making you feel, how it's making other people feel, you know, other people are beginning to realise. And then, you know, near the end of the conversation, you can say, you know, I'm here for you for whatever you need, and if you want to go and seek help, let's do it. You know, if you can do it in that manner, it can do a lot of help, rather than, you know, making them very aggressive, slam the door in your face, and then they don't eat again. So yeah, I mean, that would be my advice to you. The second part is how to see the signs of hiding food. And so yeah, a lot of anorexics tend to, well, people with eating disorders in general tend to develop this food hiding strategies, which, although they may be, you know, different between them, they have very similar themes. So, for example, in school, they may be sat alone so that they can hide the food on their plate. And if you can let the school know that you think they may be developing an eating disorder, they can become a lot more vigilant. And if they see that, you know, your child is sat on their own, they may, you know, keep one eye open to make sure that they don't throw away their food. The second thing, at home, anorexics tend to develop a lot of skills which I'm not going to discuss, because you know, it could be detrimental to some people who are viewing this video. But a couple of things for you to notice is, so when they're eating dinner, they may spread food around the plate to make it look like they've eaten. It's just these kind of things that, you know, eating slowly, they should sort of spark alarm bells for you. And if you can keep one eye open and look in the bin, you know, it may be a bit gross to you, but if you think that your child is developing an eating disorder, this could be a life or death thing that you do for them. So yeah, get your hands dirty and check all the corners in the house, check there isn't food around. But yeah, this is a really difficult issue for me to talk about on the internet because I don't want to give tips away, and I have messaged people about this. If you want a private message from me, please let me know and I'll get it out to you as soon as possible. So yeah, this is the end of this question and answer session. I'll definitely be releasing one next week. Have a good end to the August, and I'll see you guys later.